Okay, hello guys, this is the voice of Phillips Ayomide and you are welcome to this video tutorial. In this video tutorial, I'm quickly going to be showing us how to create this Bitcoin text effect I created with Pixellab. Okay, this is either a 3-layer or a 4-layer text effect. It might not look like much, but this is the first layer, this is the second layer, this is the third layer, and there's a fourth layer which acts as the shadow. Okay, so quickly I'm just going to take this out and then we can start the design from scratch. Okay, we can start the design from scratch. All right. Okay, so first thing we do is to edit our background, and the background is white. Okay, color white. You can just pick the default color here, white, and then we can see some lines in the background. Okay, that's an effect from the stripe. So you come to this fifth icon here that looks like the magic wand, the fifth one here, and then click on the stripes. Okay, so normally the stripes would come out this way. Okay, so I just move this to 2 and then reduce this to the lowest. So alpha should be 5 and repeat should be 2. Okay, we have that. So the first thing you need to add is Bitcoin, our text. Come here and add Bitcoin. Okay, I'm going to increase the size of this. Then I come to font, and the font we use here is Montserrat Bold. Okay, I have the font here, Montserrat Bold. I'm going to reduce the size of this to, okay, let's see the size that we can work with. All right, I'm just going to reduce this somewhere here, 180 should be fine. And then come down to spacing, because the spaces in between the line spacing is too much. Okay, so I'm just going to reduce this a little bit to 5, -5 is fine. Okay, then I apply padding just to give the text some spaces at the side. So come down to padding, then the left padding should be 5 and the right padding should be 8. Okay, I think that's fine. We can centralize this. All right, we are moving forward. Come down here to color. Next thing we add is color. Okay, so normally the color should be black, but then, okay, let's just leave this at black. Okay, let's just leave this at black. Then we apply rotate. Rotate should be -1. Just place it somewhere here. Then we move to the complex one now, which is adding stroke. Apply stroke. Then the color for our stroke is, come here, click the pen icon to input our color code. Okay, to input our color code, and the color code is DF1E02. okay, that's our, click on the check button here, and that will be our stroke. That's our stroke color, somewhat orange. Okay, so I'll reduce this. I'm going to increase the stroke width to 15. Stroke width is 15. Okay, or let's give it more, 20. Okay, then we apply our 3D text. Come down to 3D text, activate it. We're going to be Okay, so we can see it's breaking there. Come down here and put off simulate lighting. Once that is done, we can now start editing our 3D effects properly. We're going to use oblique for this, then reduce the depth to 3. Reduce the depth to 3. Okay, we're going to leave the color at the stroke color that we used before. Okay, so that's going to be auto, and then increase the darken by 50%. Increase the darken by 50%. That should be fine. Okay, and then the next thing to do left to do is to move our oblique angle up until this point, 309, somewhere around this point. Okay, I think we need to increase the depth a little bit more so that we can see our effects well. Okay, 3, 4. Okay, 4 should be fine. All right. So after that, the next thing we are going to add is come down to shadow, because we needed a kind of yellow outline on this particular text. Click on shadow, and the color code would be, the color code for the shadow is, come here to the pen tool, click on this, and then you can edit and put in your color code. Color code is FF8. Okay, 8 FF8609 609. Next. Okay, click on this. That's going to be our stroke. Okay, so first thing we are going to do is to take the blur radius down to 0. Take the blur radius down to 0, and then bring the offset Y down to 2. Just make 2 or 3 to just make it show a little bit. Okay, I think 2 is fine. 1, 2. All right. I'm going to reduce, come back here to our to the depth for our 3D text, and just leave it at, yeah, 3 is fine. Okay, I'm not fine with because this, the stroke or the shadow we added, right, just to give that particular, the lower part of our text, to give it a stroke, it's not really showing. Okay, I think I'll just leave it at 3 for now. So I think we are done with our first layer. Just going to centralize this in the middle, come down here to the middle, relative position, and centralize it in the middle. Okay, you're going to increase the size of this so that we can see what we are doing well. Okay, so the next thing is copy this and then remove everything that we added initially, which is the stroke, put this off, shadow, put it off, and then 3D text, put it off. Okay, so now we have our text here. Okay, so we place this in the middle, right here. Then we start editing the second layer all over again. Editing the second layer all over again. The color for this is a gradient. Gradient color, and we have our gradient color here, but I'm going to be picking something neutral so we can edit our color all over again. Okay, so gradient, the text, the gradient style, gradient arrangement we are going to be using should be diagonal. Okay, should be diagonal, like I've explained before. The first one here, this one here is horizontal, this one here, the second one that we have here. Okay, let me just use our arrow for that. Okay, so the first one here we have is horizontal, the second one here is vertical, the third one here is diagonal, the fourth one here is radial, this one here, the fifth one, is vertical radial, and the sixth one is horizontal radial. Okay, so that's just a simple way to know the gradient arrangement that we have on Pixellab. Okay, so we are going to be using diagonal, and for the first slider we are going to move this down here a little bit. The color code for this is, click on the pen tool here, and we are going to edit our color code, which is FFB 334. Okay, next, done. Click on this, click on OK. We have that there, and then the color code for this one, you're going to move this down here also a little bit, and then the color code for this is FFA000. FFA000. Okay, that's 6. Okay, please make sure you are getting the color code. You are using an accurate color code to get the exact text effects we are creating. Okay, so we have that there, and we just place this. Make sure we centralize this also to the middle so that it just sits well on our text. Okay, we are moving forward. Then we apply stroke to this also, but it's not going to be the same color of on the first layer. Okay, so I'm going to come down to stroke, apply stroke. I'm going to move this to 6. I'm going to move this down to 6. Okay, then the color code for the stroke is, click on the pen tool here, click on this, and we are going to input our color code, which is FF700F. FF700F. Okay, click on next, done. Click on this, and there we go. This is the color code for the stroke that we have there. Just going to move this up a little bit more. Gradually you would see the effects that these little additions are making on our text effect. Okay, so once we have that perfect, I'm going to apply shadow. Come down to shadow, apply our shadow. Color should be black, then reduce the opacity to 24. Then our blur radius is 0, offset X should be 2, and offset Y should be 2 also. Offset Y should be 2. Okay, so we can see, I'm going to put this off and so we'll see the effect that has on our design. I don't know if that is visible, but you can see the little black shady, very tiny black shade that we have on our second layer to reflect on the stroke of the first layer. Okay, so I'm going to apply inner shadow. So we're going to apply inner shadow, and the color code for our inner shadow is, click on the pen tool here, inner shadow is FFFB2D. Next, click on next, done. Okay, I hope you are following this. Okay, so the aim for that particular color code is to give the second layer this kind of metallic feel on the text. Okay, so let's just quickly finish up with this. Blur radius should be 4. the blur radius will be 4. Offset X would come down to, so we see what we have there. So the inner shadow for this second layer is actually the beauty of this particular text effect. So you can see what we have here before, and then once I move this out to 6, you can see what we are having, and then offset Y should be 4. Okay, just going to bring this down to 4. Okay, so we can see I think we are done with this particular text effect. I'm just going to move the both of them. I'm going to centralize the both of them. Okay, so remember at the beginning of this video tutorial I said this could either be a 2-layer or a 3-layer text effect depending on whatever background it is that you might be placing it on. So for this background, because it's a white background, we need a shadow, we need a drop shadow for this text effect. Okay, if you were using a dark background for this text effect, we might not be needing a shadow. It's not certain, depending on depending on how dark your background would be. Okay, so I would just quickly edit the third layer. This one is going to be, so technically this is supposed to be the first layer, okay, because it's going to be behind the other the other 2 layers. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put off everything that we put on before, which is stroke and inner shadow. Okay, and shadow. All right, so I come down here to edit our color. The color should be black. Okay, please follow me closely while I do this. Then I come down here and apply shadow. Shadow also should be black, but then reduce the opacity to 49 or 50. Yes, then we're going to increase the blur radius up to 8. All right, then edit this. Offset X should be 4. Okay, 4, while offset Y should be 1. Okay, we'll see the effect that this has on our text very soon. Okay, once that is done, just place this here and take it to the back. Okay, so move to back, and then we can just bring it down a little bit. Once we have that, come down to opacity and reduce opacity to 0. Reduce the opacity to 0, and then you can just place this very well so that it looks like it looks realistic, looks like an actual shadow on our background. Okay, so just going to move this up a little bit. Make sure it's actually visible. Make sure what we are doing is actually visible. We'll bring it down. Yes, there we have it. We have successfully created this text effect. So I'm just going to bring this in because I saved it initially, and this is how we created this particular text effect. Okay, so every resource, I don't think we need any external resources here for this particular text effect, but then it should be in the exercise file. We didn't use any external resource for this particular text effect. Everything that we did on this text effect was used from Pixellab. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, for reaching the end of this video, and I would love to see what you have worked on after you replicate this particular text effect. Thank you very much. I remain Phillips Ayomide.